I never want to see you in my house again. Do you understand me? And break up with my brother and leave him alone forever. Got it? Now, wait just a second. You just can't pour hot coffee all over someone and then talk to them as if they're the problem. What did you just say to me, you miserable cow? I only came over here to tell you that Nathan and we're getting married. I have no idea what I did to you to deserve this type of treatment, which I think is horrible, by the way. And how can you treat someone like this? It doesn't make any sense. You really think I'm gonna let some old divorced woman marry my older brother? Oh, you must be dreaming. Think of that hot coffee as my way of trying to wake you up from this horrible little fantasy you're trying to live. You have got to be kidding me, right? Is that all that you have to say for yourself? Nathan probably doesn't even realize just how close he came to having his life completely ruined by you. But I'm a good sister, and I saved him from throwing away everything just for you. If you couldn't make your first marriage work, I have no idea why you're even bothering to try again. You would just drag Nathan down to your level if you two got married. Is that really what this is all about? You did what you did all because I was married before? I can't believe it. Nathan and I come over here because we wanted to share our good news, and instead you turn around and treat me like this? What kind of person doesn't think that someone should ever get married again just because they were divorced in the past? It makes perfect sense to me and anyone else with a brain and eyes that could clearly see. Of course, someone like you is probably just incapable of seeing just how much this marriage would ruin his life. Then again, maybe you just don't care and you're only out for yourself. But that's all the more reason to protect my brother from an evil woman like you. I don't think I've ever met anyone who's had thoughts like this like you do, Erica. Well then, I guess that means I'm the only one standing in the way of my brother throwing his future prospects away for someone as lame as you. I mean, you already promised to love someone till death do you part, and I don't think either of you or your ex-husband are dead yet. So why should anyone ever trust anything you have to say about love or marriage? Or maybe it wasn't your personality. Maybe your husband left you because you are barren and can't have children. But that's just another good reason to keep you as far away from my brother as possible. Can you please just stop making all these assumptions about my life? I'll have you know that my last divorce wasn't my husband's decision, it was mine. Oh, really? So you left him and not the other way around? That's right. My ex-husband was a drunk who drowned himself in a bottle every night. And he wasn't afraid to get violent with me either. Not only that, but he was always stealing money from me and ended up running away with a younger woman. Oh, wow. Well, that guy sounds like a real piece of work if you ask me. He's complete trash. On that we can agree. So maybe you can understand why I felt like I had no other choice but to get out of that situation. I really did try to make things work out with my last husband, but nothing I tried seemed to get through to him. The divorce really was my last resort to deal with the situation. Alright then, I guess I understand why you and this guy split up, but it doesn't change the fact that you're still just a dumb woman who isn't good enough for my brother. And what makes you say that? Well, because you were stupid enough to marry such a complete piece of trash in the first place, of course. If you knew this guy was such a terrible person, but you still married him, then that just shows what a complete and total idiot you really are. I don't think you understand. Before we got married, he really was a kind and sweet man to me. But it was only after we said our vows that he changed into this horrible monster. I had no idea that he was hiding his true self behind a mask that he was waiting to take off after our marriage. Oh, there you go, pretending like none of this is your fault when you admitted that you were stupid enough to let yourself be tricked by this person. If you didn't do enough research into who you were marrying before doing it, then that is still on you. And all of this goes back to serve my original point that you are not good enough to marry my brother. Are you kidding me? Do you really think that life is that simple? Besides, I don't think Nathan is enough of a jerk to be your type. Maybe you should find someone more up to your level, Clearly, you're not responsible enough to understand marriage. I mean, you only realized the mistake you made after you made it. A smarter person would have never gotten married in the first place. You don't know what you're talking about at all. I really had no idea that my ex-husband was that kind of man before we got married. I never even saw him drink a drop of alcohol while we were dating. Oh, just shut up already, will you? You're only dragging your own grave, you know. All I've gathered from this conversation is that you're a stupid, irresponsible, reckless woman. You need to take responsibility for your actions and quit trying to blame others for your lack of judgment. Oh my God, you can't be serious, right? You really can't see things from my perspective at all. I don't, because there's nothing to see except you're not good enough for Nathan. Just the thought of being your sister-in-law with a complete idiot like you is enough to send my blood pressure up. You are never going to be good enough to marry anyone ever again, got it? Little brat, one of these days someone is going to put you in your place. Do you know that? See, you even talk like an old maid. All you've done this whole time is prove my point time and time again. You're not even giving good arguments anymore. I am so glad that I put an end to you and my brother before this whole thing got way out of hand. I don't have time for this nonsense anymore. Goodbye, Erica.
Becca, are you there? I just left my parents' place and I was wondering if I could come over to yours. I want you to forget all about whatever my sister thinks. You and I are getting married.
Do you really want to talk about your engagement with me right now, Nathan?
I do. But first, I just want to say how sorry I am for how Erica has acted towards you today. I've seen anyone do what she did to you and it was absolutely unacceptable. I mean, who pours coffee on someone else like that?
Thank you, but you shouldn't be the one apologizing for that, Nathan. Do you really still want to get married in spite of all the trouble that I might cause you and your family?
I brought you over to meet my family today because I thought they would be happy for me, for us. But after you left the house, no matter how hard I tried to convince Erica that you were the woman for me, she couldn't get over the fact that you were married before. She kept saying all these terrible things about how marrying you was going to be the start of the end of my life. I got so fed up hearing her talk about you that way that I finally left the house.
She really said all that about me to you.
She did, and I couldn't believe it. I had never heard her talk that way about anyone before then. But it also makes me realize that we don't have to care about what she thinks. This is our lives, and we should live them how we want.
Oh, Nathan, I'm so happy to hear you say that to me. But you do know that if we go through with this, your sister will probably never talk to you again. Are you okay with that?
If she's going to be acting this way, then I don't want anything to do with her in the first place. I don't know what happened to make her change, but she isn't the person that I used to know anymore. I was getting fed up with attitude already, so this was just a good chance to make a clean break from all her nonsense.
You really mean that? That you were already thinking of cutting her off?
You know, Erica has always been a pretty prideful girl, even when she was little. She would look down on the less popular kids and judge them for petty things. I remember one time, she had a girl in her friend group who said that she wasn't going to college and was going to start working instead. And Erica just kept bullying that girl and calling her poor and stuff. But I never saw her actually physically take action to bully someone like she did to you today. That's when I knew she really had changed too much.
Wow, I can't believe she said such horrible things to that girl.
She really did. And there was another time where she had a friend who was a single mother, and Erica told her that children without both parents aren't even worth having. She just says the first cruel thing that comes to her mind and never thinks about how it might affect the person she's talking to.
Well, everyone and everything, it sounds like. And to say those kind of things to people actually going through stuff like that, that is just awful.
Well, Erica thinks she's never made any mistakes in all her life, so she thinks she gets to judge those who she thinks have. Basically, she just asserts that she's right and everyone else is wrong, unless she says otherwise.
How can someone even live like that? How has no one ever stood up to her and told her just to mind her own business?
It's a mystery to me as well. But I refuse to let Erica be the reason why I don't marry the woman of my dreams. So please, do you mind if I come over so we can talk more about this in person? I want to plan a date that we can go to court and get married, and then we can look at places to move in together.
It's been a while since we last spoke, but I just wanted to do my due diligence and make sure that you and my brother finally split up. Actually, on the contrary, we've moved in together. And this weekend, we're going to the courthouse to have our civil ceremony and get married. Hold on a second, what? So you two haven't broken up at all? Oh, you're going to get married instead? I can't believe this. How dare you just go and do this after what I said you should do? Erica, can you please just tell me what is this really about that you don't like? Why is it that you don't want Nathan and I to get married so badly? It's because I hate you, and you're not good enough for him. I already told you that a divorced woman can never ever be trusted again to be married. You're just going to run away and hurt my brother the moment things get a little difficult for you. Well, I'm not going to let you blow up my brother's life like you did with your last marriage. You really do see things through your own biases, don't you? I'm not biased at all. I'm just honest about what I see, and people don't like to hear the truth. I mean, even after I told you about how I was tricked about who my last husband really was, and that after he changed, I had to just leave him for my own sake, and you still managed to put the blame on me. You made it sound like I was taking the easy way out, even though I told you that divorce was the last thing that I wanted to do. Well, that's because all you said in that whole sob story of yours was it was tough, so I gave up. Do you really think I believe that your husband suddenly changed personalities after you got married? That sounds like an excuse, and a failure at that. And if that's how lightly you take marriage, then clearly you weren't good enough for my brother to stick it out through thick and thin. It was your job to find out about the person you got married to before you married them. What's that term, red flags? You didn't see any of them? Erica, I really think you're making a huge mistake. I don't make mistakes. In fact, I'm also engaged to be married, and unlike you, I know exactly the kind of person that I'm getting with. That's why I agreed to get married to him. Wait a second, you're engaged to be married too? But not even Nathan knew anything about that. Well, he wouldn't know anything since I've been keeping it a secret from the family this whole time. But soon, I'm going to be introducing him to the family, and they'll see just what an amazing man he is. Although, I suppose since the cat is out of the bag, I can tell you that he graduated from Harvard, and he works at a huge investing firm. His name is Charlie, and he's amazing. Oh, and he's all mine. So, your fiance's name is Charlie. That's right. He's just a few years older than me, but all that means is that he has more life experience. He's so amazing, and I'm not ashamed to be seen with him at all. We're actually the perfect match for each other. So, this Charlie guy is a bit older than you. Do you mind if I ask exactly how much older he is than you? Actually, it's funny that you ask because Charlie is the same age as you, so he's about 7 years older than me. Wait, what? Are you serious? That's right. He went to a great school, has a great job, and is a good age. Basically, he's the perfect catch. I should know. I spent time learning about the kind of person he is, and I know that I'm not wrong about how I feel towards him. I'm not gonna make the same mistakes that an idiot like you did when you got married. So you just dived right into your marriage without even thinking about any of the consequences, and all it got you was a divorce. You know, I think your Charlie might actually be my ex-husband, Charlie. Harvard, the job and finance, his age, it all matches exactly with the man I used to be married to. I'm afraid that you might, in fact, be marrying someone who has also been a divorcee. Hold on, wait a second. What? I know. I'm just as shocked as you are to be hearing all of this. The world really is a small place, isn't it? Is that supposed to be some kind of a joke or something? There is no way that the man I'm engaged to marry ever had anything to do with you. Because if that was really true, then that would mean that I'm about to marry a horrible person. But there's no way that he was married before or even got divorced. Well, all I'm saying is that everything you told me about this man so far has matched up exactly to the man I used to be married to. My ex-husband, Charlie, also went to Harvard, and he also works in finance. And his name is also Charlie, like your fiancé. But that just happens to be all a coincidence. I mean, I've never even seen Charlie drink, okay? And he's never mentioned anything about being married to you or anyone before. Sounds like the same thing he did to me. I never saw him touch a glass before we got married. It was only after he did that he showed me who he really was. But I think you'll find out pretty quickly that he does all of his drinking while you're away, and he only pretends to abstain when he's around you. Oh, you are full of it. This can't be right. And have you actually ever asked him before if he's ever been married? Because I feel like that's something a lot of people don't bring up, especially if they don't see it's necessary. You might want to look into that, though. This is really bad, though. I mean, we're already engaged. How can we get married if he's hiding so much about me that I don't even know? This can't be right. He would never do something like this to me. I know how you feel. I thought the same exact thing before when I got married to him. But he's hiding his true self from you. And once you two get married, you can look forward to him just downing bottle after bottle, night after night. And I don't want to make any formal accusations, but I'm just telling you that it's really worth looking into before you get married, okay? No. You can't be right about this. My Charlie would never lie to me about who he is. I mean, he is my fiancé, for crying out loud. Oh, that's right. I completely forgot that you have the ability to know exactly who someone is and isn't. What is that supposed to mean? I'm only repeating what you said. You told me that you would never get married until you were 100% sure that you knew what kind of person they were. So I guess that means you must have done all of your homework on this person and that you know exactly who you're marrying. I mean, you wouldn't just get married to someone without knowing anything about them, right? Well, of course not. Well then, don't worry about it. I'm sure that things are going to be just fine. After all, if they aren't, then that means you've been wrong about yourself this whole time, wouldn't it? I don't think I'm wrong. It never hurts to double check. Oh, no. I really hope that I didn't shake your confidence in your fiancé. After all, you aren't some old hag like me. You're a bright, clever young lady, aren't you? So I'm sure that you know exactly what you're getting yourself into with this guy. I mean, even if I was right, and it is my ex-husband Charlie, and he does change after you two get married, at least you've already been prepared for that, right? Look, I don't know what you're talking about. I just mean that you'll take responsibility for your marriage and won't run away like I did, right? Even when he's drunk and hitting you, you'll still be there by his side, right? You don't really think that will happen to me, do you? Oh no, what have I done? I can't marry someone like that. Becca, you gotta help me. You were right. My fiancé was your ex-husband, Charlie. I asked him if he'd ever been married before, and he refused to answer until I pressed him about it, and then he told me the truth. He really is the same abusive alcoholic that you used to be with. Oh, so you did end up going to double check about who he was. And here I thought that you knew all about this guy before you got engaged to him. Oh, shut up! This isn't a joke, you know. And what am I supposed to do about this now? Please, you have to help me. What do I need to do to help you with? Did something happen? He was going to do the same thing he did to you, to me. He hid part of his life that he wasn't going to tell me about at all until after we got married, okay? When he finally came clean about who he was, he went straight to the kitchen, opened a bottle of wine, and chugged the whole thing right before my eyes. That does sound like Charlie. Yeah. He changed right before my eyes. I couldn't believe it all. He got so angry that he told me I wasn't allowed to leave. That also sounds very much like Charlie. He is just the worst when he gets any alcohol in his system. I told you that's the reason why I left him in the first place. But he told me that he really wanted to get back together with you. Except that he didn't know how to get a hold of you after you left him. And so he finally gave up and looked for another woman. And he said he wanted one with a good job who was young, just like me. And now we're engaged to get married. He really is just a terrible, awful person. And to think that he showed his true colors before the wedding. I remember seeing him drink like that the first time. He shouted and yelled at me the whole first night of our marriage. Please, you have to do something to help me. I ran away and locked myself in the bathroom. I can't spend the rest of my life with a guy like this. I can't leave the house, though. He blocked the door, and I have no other option but to hide in here. Please, you have to come and help me. I don't care if you and my brother get married. Just come and save me.
Well, first of all, sis, Becca and I are already married, and we never needed your permission to do so.
Little sister, is this Nathan? Did you two really already get married? I thought you weren't going to do that until this weekend.
That was the plan, but then I was told I was going to have a business trip this weekend, so we moved the appointment up. It was all an easy process, and now Becca and I are married.
Well, congratulations. Now, are you going to come and help me or not?
I don't know. You said that you'd let Becca and I get married if we did, but we're already married, so what else do you got?
What do you mean, what else do I have? I'm your sister, and I'm in trouble. Isn't that enough?
But I thought you knew exactly the kind of person that you were going to get engaged to. No? If you like this guy so well, you can get yourself out of this jam, right?
Wait, no, please. You aren't really just gonna abandon me like this, are you? You're not going to leave your little sister with a mean drunk like this, are you?
It's not that I don't feel bad for you. I just really don't feel like I need to do much either. You got yourself into this mess so you can get yourself out. Becca explained very well to you about the kind of man that her ex was, but you just didn't listen, and look where that landed you.
You're right. I should have listened. I should have never made fun of Becca for being divorced. I never thought it would lead to this, though. I was just trying to protect you, Nathan.
So you think that I should thank you for all that you put my wife through? Because I don't ever remember asking you to do that for me.
Please, I'm sorry for everything. Just help me out here, please.
I've called the cops and they should be on their way. But I never want you to talk to me or my wife ever again.
It wasn't long after that call that the police finally came and was able to get Erica that was trapped in the bathroom. It goes without saying that Erica and Charlie promptly broke off their engagement. I heard through the grapevine, however, that all of Erica's friends are now teasing her for having horrible taste in men, as well as not knowing what she got herself into. Of course, this was also just a way of getting back at her for all the times Erica would make fun of her friends for making poor choices with their ex-boyfriends or current partners. As for Nathan and I, we had a small wedding ceremony with some friends and family, and now living together, happily married.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.
I've had enough out of you. I never want you to get near my brother again, got it? He might not be able to see it, but it's obvious to me that you're just after him for his money. I won't allow you to marry him. Just get out of his life. If you don't, I will dump a bucket of water over you. You're going to dump water on me? What are you, 5 years old or something? We're adults. Why can't we just talk this through with each other? And just what would I even have to talk with you? Listen to me. I am not after Mark's money at all, okay? I love him for who he is, and that is the start and end of it. And besides, you already dumped water on me when I went over to meet your parents. Is that all you know how to do? Oh please, you think I'm going to buy that you're not in this for money crap? Why else would you be marrying a man who is a whole 10 years older than you? Did you really think that I was going to fall for that? And just what is that supposed to mean? I mean, I'm a woman. I know what it means when we fall in love with older men, and especially someone who is so much older than us. This is clearly nothing more than a money grab, and that's that. I really don't think all women think like that. If anything, that says way more about you than it does about me. I don't care about age. Mark and I are both adults, and we love each other, and that should be enough. Why won't you listen to what I'm trying to tell you? Why would I ever listen to a lying woman who is just trying to rob my brother blind? This is pointless. Just stay away from my brother, okay? And quit trying to give me more lame excuses. But that's not even what I'm going. You know, I think it's women like you that I hate most in this world. That is to say, young women in the 20s who think that they have it all figured out. Don't you realize that you're ruining the dating pool for us women in the 30s? You need to stick to your dating pool, you gold digger. What did you just call me? I called you a gold digger, and what are you going to do about it? Not only are you that, but you're also conniving and sneaky, and you'll end up ruining my brother's life. I can't let you sink your claws into him and take him down. I'm trying to tell you that that is not what's going on here at all. Listen to me. I know my brother much better than you do, and I know for a fact that he's always been a shy, withdrawn person ever since he was little. I mean, he could hardly even function if I wasn't around him to be there for him. But then, he had to go and find a girlfriend. Not only that, but he went to propose to this girl too. Well, of course, when I heard the news, I was overjoyed as his older sister, until I realized the type of woman that he had fallen in love with. Ever since, I've just been wallowing in my disappointment. Well, I'm sorry to say, but I'm quite disappointed about things as well. Mark always talks so highly of you, and I was really looking forward to getting to meet you. But now, I see that you're just stubborn and judgmental. And just how am I either of those things, huh? I don't know what you're talking about at all. But I do, and I know that all you're after is my brother's money. And don't deny it both. I already know that I'm absolutely right about this, and maybe you'll learn when you're more mature. What are you talking about? How am I not mature? Ugh, you young people always get so upset quickly just from hearing what you don't want to hear. Now I know for sure that I can't let you and my brother end up with a little girl like you. A little girl? Are you kidding me right now? I understand that you are Mark's sister, but I am seriously losing my patience with you. Why are you being so mean to me right now? If you wanted to stop, all you have to do is leave my brother alone. Whether you do or don't, I won't let you two get married no matter what. If a woman is dating a man 10 years older than she is, she only wants one thing, and it's that man's wallet. Well, as Mark's older sister, it's my duty to make sure my little brother doesn't fall for your wiles. So, you want us to break off our engagement to each other then? That way, Mark can find a better girl more suited for his age and who will respect him for the man he is. Well, I don't see how we would ever swing that with a bossy sister like you hanging around him all the time. You'd drive anyone from Mark. Whatever. This thing is dumb. I'm putting my phone down now. Well, Mark, I can't take this anymore. I don't think I can marry you. Thank you for everything up to now.
Wait, what? Hillary, hold on. Don't tell me that Brenda was bugging you again. You aren't serious about all of this, are you?
I am serious, Mark. I have tried over and over to patch things up with your sister, and she just refuses to listen.
But that's not my fault, please. You can't do this to me.
Okay, wait. Hold on. Before this gets taken too far, I really was just joking. Of course, I still want to marry you, and what other people say is not going to change that.
What kind of sick joke is that? You nearly gave me a heart attack.
I'm sorry. I think I'm just still stressed out from dealing with your sister and the way she treated me when I went over to meet your family. I mean, not only did she actually dump water on me, but then she went on to tell me that she thinks you and I should break off the engagement. But I'm not letting her get to me that easily, so you have nothing to worry about.
So then, you still want to marry me? You didn't mean what you said.
Of course, I still want to marry you. I just said that. But I really don't like how your sister seems to single me out and won't ever get off my back about the engagement. Except, I also get the sense that she's the type of person that won't stop until she gotten what she wants. So what do I think we should do for now is to pretend as if we have broken off our engagement and continue to plan the wedding in secret. That way, on the day of our wedding, Brenda will be blindsided and won't have any room to fight back.
Oh, I see what you're getting at now. But isn't that basically like lying to Brenda then?
Well, yes it is. But no one else I know has any reason to object to you and I getting married. It's only Brenda who is making this a huge deal and fighting it tooth and nail.
Are you really sure that this plan of yours is going to work?
Well, another plan I thought is that we do actually break the engagement, but then I propose to you instead. That way we can tell Brenda that we did break it off, and we just won't tell her that we got engaged again. What do you think about that idea?
You mean you really want to propose to me? Where are you going to do it? Have you picked a location already? I'm so excited.
Sorry, Mark, that was just another joke. These things don't go well over text, do they? Anyways, I just think the best thing to do would be to avoid hanging out with your sister. After all, it's our marriage, so it's our feelings that should matter the most here. Although, I know that no matter what, Brenda is going to hate the fact that we're getting married.
You're right. It is about how we feel, Hillary. And the way I feel about you is... well, you just mean so much to me. I literally can't even put it into words, because it still wouldn't be enough to contain all that I feel for you. But I can't just pretend like I don't care a lot about my sister either. No. I'm sorry, Hillary, I don't think that I can go through with this if my sister doesn't want it to happen.
Wait, what do you mean?
I mean that... I'm really sorry, Hillary. I can't do this anymore. I'm going to do what Brenda says and call it all off.
You've got to be kidding me, right? Are you seriously breaking up with me?
I know it's upsetting. I'm crushed just thinking about it right now. Maybe we could just not get married and not break up. We could just keep dating and stay a couple. Would that really be so bad?
What does that even mean?
I've tried to talk to you about this before, but you just never seemed to think that I was really serious. My sister means the world to me, and she is someone that I have deep respect for. I mean, she's practically raised me ever since I was little and could barely walk. I just owe her so much in my life.
Mark, I know that your sister has done a lot for you. I know that she was there by your side when you felt lonely as a kid.
I didn't have many friends when I was growing up, but I also had Brenda by my side. And when I said that I wanted to start my own business, her and my parents were there to support me. Even when business isn't doing so well, she was there to console me. She even introduced me to someone who became one of my most important clients for my business. I can't take all that and not give back to her somehow.
So then, you're really going to roll over and break up with me? When you proposed to me, you said that you wanted to make me the happiest woman in the world.
I know, and I meant it, but that was before I knew that my sister would act this way. And people are always telling me to be careful of friendly people who might only be after my money. Needless to say, I'm a little on edge about it.
Wait a second. You think that I might just be after you for your money? Please tell me that you didn't really propose to someone who genuinely were thinking that about.
Look, the fact of the matter is that I'm 36 years old, and this is the first time that I've dated someone so much younger than me. The time I've spent with you has been amazing, but I can't help but have some worries in the back of my mind. Maybe I'm still just the scared, unsure kid that I've always been. I don't know. Maybe it's just tough for me to see how anyone could love me for anything but my money.
But that's not the case with me, I swear.
So, then you're really not just trying to marry for my money? If that's really the case, then you shouldn't mind if we don't get married. Isn't that right? If you really don't care about my money at all, then none of this should be a problem for you, don't you think?
You really can't be serious about any of this, right?
I'm just going to do as my sister says and not marry you, but we can still date and be together forever. Don't you see? I found a loophole that makes it so that everyone wins.
Are you kidding me right now? That is one of the stupidest things that I've ever heard.
Wait, what do you mean?
I mean, that you don't want to marry me but you want to be with me forever? Do you have any idea how insulting that is to hear from someone I've invested so much of myself in? If that's really the best that you can come up with, then maybe we shouldn't be getting married after all.
Hillary, you seem really, really upset right now.
Oh, I'm way beyond upset. I'm just fed up and sick and tired of this. If that's really what you want, then fine. Let's call off the engagement, but we are going to break up. And I never want to see you again, got it?
Wait, are you serious about that?
It's like you said, your older sister knows best, so we should just do what she says, right? Well, if that's the case, then I'm out of here. I see that Mark was smart enough to listen to his older sister. I heard that you two finally broke up, just as I said you two should. That's right, Brenda, you won. It's over. But thanks to you, I can say that I've learned a lot. Like, the fact that Mark wasn't a good match for me anyways. I'm actually glad that things ended before we got married. What did you just say? Do you have any idea where you stand in comparison to my brother? He's glad that he didn't end up marrying you. He's the one that dodged a bullet with a gold digger like yourself. Well, I guess we just see it differently, don't we? You may be acting cool right now, but it's so obvious you're fuming with rage over missing out on marrying a rich older man. Is that how you think I feel right now? Oh, I know it is. But as long as I'm around, I'm not going to let some pretty young thing try to manipulate my brother. And it's obvious that Mark doesn't know how to pick women, but it's a good thing that I've already found someone for him. You mean that you've already found someone else that you want your brother to get married to? That's right, and in the meantime, I'll be taking care of Mark. After all, ever since when he was little, I've always had to do everything for him. I even helped revive his business through some of my connections, so of course, I know some women who would be perfect for him. But I'm going to put them through rigorous testing to make sure that I find the right one. I am only going to let the perfect candidate by the woman that I allowed to marry my little brother. But aren't you worried that Mark's business might fall apart if you do that? What are you talking about now? Besides, I wonder if there really even are any women who would want to marry Mark if you do all that to them. Setting aside any potential gold diggers in your lineup, who would want to work that hard just to try and date someone? I'll take care of that, But what do you mean about Mark's business? Oh no, never mind. I'm sure things will be fine since you're there for him. And I'm sure you'll find plenty of women willing to run this gauntlet of yours. If you do find someone willing to put all in that work, you've probably already found a winner. Now wait just 1 second. I want you to answer all my questions. What was that you said earlier about Mark's business? What does any of this have to do with the state of how the company is doing? Explain yourself. Well, I didn't say it as any kind of joke or anything, if that's what you're thinking. But I heard from some colleagues who still work for Mark that ever since I left, it's as if the whole atmosphere changed around there, and that people have been quitting in droves ever since then. Wait, hold on a second. You used to work for Mark, but then you quit? I take it if that Mark never told you about any of this then. But yes, Mark and I actually met at his company while I was interning there. But that was while I was in college. After I graduated, I left and began job hunting for myself. I was going to talk about all of this when I came over to meet you and your parents, but then you spoiled the whole scene with your little water stunt. I didn't know any of this at all. Well, it's true. All throughout my sophomore year, I interned at his company. And sure, it's true that I ended up getting my first job there too. But I was so familiar with the system by that point that I was promoted to project manager in no time. And that's when we really first started to date each other. But you two had actually known each other for a long time before that? That's right. But when he told me that we wouldn't be getting married anymore, I took it as my signal to quit. I know that I would never even want to see his face ever again, so I started sending out job applicants and submitted my letter of resignation right away. But I still don't get how any of this affects the state of the company. I mean, I thought everything was going fine business-wise. Why would losing one lousy employee bring the whole thing down? I didn't understand it at first either, but my leaving had quite the impact apparently. It seems that Mark is too indecisive on his own to run a company, and that's where I came in. What do you mean that's where you came in? You mean that you're Mark's older sister, but you didn't know about this? Well, you know how Mark can be a bit of an introvert, right? But to run a company, you need to inspire and lead your employees. That was just a little too much to ask of Mark, and I was the bridge between him and the rest of his business. Are you kidding me right now? Not at all. I told you that I was a project leader, didn't I? I was always the go-between from Mark to the rest of the staff. But now that I'm gone, the bridge isn't there anymore, and everyone realized how incompetent Mark really is. But that can't be right. I mean, you're just one person. There's no way you could have been that important to everything. How could just losing you bring a whole company down? Well, I already said, after I left, people started quitting after me. It wasn't just me, it was everyone that left in my wake as well. Losing a few dozen employees at once is not good for any business. You mean dozens of people have quit already? All because you were gone? That's right, and the reason I left in the first place was because Mark broke off his engagement with me. Anyways, I think rumors about what happened between us started to swirl around the office, and that might have something to do with it as well. What kinds of rumors do you mean? Well, Mark announced to everyone in the office when him and I got engaged, so it's only natural that people would start to wonder about why it was that we broke it off. Some people thought it was about the age. Others thought that his family didn't like me. A lot of different theories started floating around. A lot of people got really hung up on the age thing though, and started to wonder about the role age played in the structure of the company. Since we hired so many young people, they started to think that they were being held back in their careers just because of their age. Soon they were getting fed up working for Mark and they started to quit. But, I mean, that's not even true. True or not, the fact of the matter is that Mark couldn't step in like a leader and quell any of these rumors, and now they've gotten all out of hand. Basically, all of the upper management has already walked out. Now it's the regular employees who are left, and Mark still can't figure out what to do. But by waiting and not acting, he's just making things worse for himself. So then, Mark's company is really falling apart right now? But this can't happen. How am I supposed to get paid if this happens? What do you mean, how are you supposed to get paid? Did you work for Mark too? Of course I do. Mark hired me as a consultant who he can go to for advice. I make a couple $1,000 a month telling him how he should run his business. Really? I had no idea that level of nepotism was going on there. Well, anyways, as the company advisor, I say that you need to get back to work right now. But also, you marrying Mark and you working for him are two different topics. You can't just leave a job because your boss dumped you. I'm not going to be taking any advice from the woman whose fault all of this is in the first place. The reason Mark's business is in so much trouble is because of your attitude towards me. I know that Mark thinks of you as someone who helped him get through his childhood, so it makes sense why he would want you helping him run his business. But now you've done this to it. No. Those two things are entirely separate. I didn't do any of this. But the company can't go down. I need this job. Well, I've already quit and I'm not coming back. Now, goodbye.
Hillary, please, you have to help me. Do you want to get back together with me? Please say yes. I need you. I've always needed you.
What is this all about?
I'm so sorry. I should have never just let Brenda ruin our engagement like that. I should have never listened to her, and I'm so sorry for everything. But I need you. I can't live without you.
It's way too late for any of this, Mark. Besides, I already know about all the business troubles that you're facing right now. Maybe you can go and ask your brilliant sister for some advice how to run your company.
Please don't be like that. I'm trying to apologize here. But I've talked to Brenda and even she came around. She says it's fine if we get married now. So please, will you do me the honor of being my wife?
I really can't believe this right now.
I know it's been a few weeks since we broke up, but I know that you still must love me deep down, right? I still love you and I need you and I want to be with you. So please come back to me. Come back to work for me. I'll even make you vice president of the whole company if you do.
I'm sorry, but not only do I have another job, but I also have another boyfriend.
Hold on, what? You already found a new job and a new boyfriend? But how did you move on so quickly? I don't get it.
Well, think about it. I'm a young, successful businesswoman. Did you really think it would be that hard for me to find someone else who wanted to date me? I'm in the prime of my game right now.
Are you kidding me right now?
No, not at all. With all the experience I've gotten working at your company, I managed to land a position here where I'm making about $100,000 a year. Not only that, but my boyfriend is also very understanding about how hard I work and is always cheering me on. This is the happiest I've been in a long time.
But you moved too quickly. You can't just replace me like that.
Why would I waste time mourning over losing a guy like you? I have to live a life and I don't need you to be a part of it. Tell your sister I said, have a nice life. After that, it didn't take long before Mark's company had to start filing for bankruptcy, as it was unable to recover from losing about half of its workforce. Mark finally had the idea of trying to turn the company in a new direction, but he didn't have anyone who was willing to go along with his ideas anymore. Still, he continued. I hear that now. Mark is drowning in debt and is constantly getting in screaming matches with his sister. And to think that the two of them used to be so close.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.